Okay, so that paint layer's now dry, and that's where we are right now with the model. So next, start some more weathering. I've got this streaking grime by AK Interactive for dark yellow vehicles, it says. So I'll try some of that. I'm not going to cover the whole thing. Just going to use it here and there. Just to pick out some of the joins and the edges. And we'll come back at this with a smaller brush and some enamel thinners. Kind of blend this away a bit. But in the first instance, I'm just going to pick out some of these shapes. That. And we've got a couple of these AK Interactive products that we can put on if we want to. Almost using it just as like a panel liner type thing. And this will dry lighter and it'll look very matte. When you first apply it, it's quite dark. And you might want to actually put a gloss coat on your model first before using these sorts of things, but the yellow rattle can spray that I used is quite glossy, so that'll do. And I'm being quite messy with this, it doesn't have to be too careful. And it doesn't need to go everywhere. Just fill in some of these ridges. I'm just keeping it pretty loose and random. Just a bit of it everywhere. And then we'll come back at it with a bit of enamel's thinner and that'll just help blend it away. Try and get rid of some of the hard edges on it. Okay, something like that. And then next, I've got some orderless thinner, enamel thinner. I'm just going to put it into a palette. And then initially, just with the same size of brush, I'm just going to come back over it where I've been, just to break up the edge a little. And again, random with that. And that's just going to take away the obvious. I noticed that there, that the way it just kind of breaks it up. Let me get some streaks with going with this. See, I mean, that's what it's designed for, as a streaking grime. Just get rid of anything that stands out too much as being painted on. You know, there's a little bit there. Just work that away. Like that. Just dabbing off onto the tissue there just to get rid of the excess. And you can really go back in and alter it. Even if you let it dry quite a bit, you can still come back in and break it up with the enamels, the enamel thinner. It just leaves a nice, grime and dirt behind it, which looks really good. And, you know, it just kind of naturally runs down in the thinner. Just gives you a nice streak. So this bit under the hose, just soften that off. Really good products, the AK interactive enamel washes and things. Just something very different from the Citadel range. And good to have the option of using them to get a different style. And, you know, you just use those little vertical strokes with the brush to encourage it to look like it's running down the model over time. We'll try a couple of the products on this just to give them a run out. We use the rust, streaking rust stuff, to do a couple of spots of that as well. So I'm just trying to catch any obvious blobs from using the brush in the previous step. Now we can just drag down some of the pigment to create those little streaks. Like that. And you can work away at that as much as you want. You can really spend a lot of time, but I think that in general is all we need. You can see how much that's improved those little grey kind of wiry bits here, just having that little change in tone and colour. Looks very natural on it. Okay, so that's that layer done. And I might just grab this rust streaks. Just pretty thick. I'm going to use a smaller brush now. And I'll maybe just try picking out an area to try this on. So the technique again, just dab some on almost haphazardly in some of the spots where you've got an obvious little area of heavy rust, or paint a new one. Like that. And then with a bit more of that enamel thinner, you could let that set up a little bit longer. But I think what I'll do is just come back almost straight away. Just start pulling out some of that rust like that. Just to create some lines. And with your enamel thinner you can again pretty much break that up and get rid of it. Bits there. It's just a slightly different colour, just to add a bit of interest to it. Different type of rust. Probably would be more useful on a model that didn't have quite as much rust from the previous steps. But that's the idea, using that one. Okay, so we've added a bit of age to that metal cone, and I'd like to see that dry up just before deciding whether to do anything else to it. And I think we're getting pretty close to finishing it without spending too much time on what is just a bit of scatter terrain. So I think what we'll do next is do a bit more work on getting the base finished, which will just be a dry brush, and then we'll bring in some weathering powders to finish off, and then that'll be it.